But I think the worst part was just how long the school day was.
Strangers, they come up to me and they speak English and they assume that I just don't understand Chinese.
And I remember my teacher calling me out in front of the whole class, and she was like, "Did you not understand Chinese?" I miss Taiwan safety a lot. They told us to stay in because this criminal has escaped from our university hospital. Ooh. And it turned out to be a murder suspect on the loose. They never caught him.
I'm here with the lovely King sisters. How you girls doing today?
We're good.
You guys are born and raised here, right?
Yes.
Dad's from the States, mom's from here. So maybe tell me about how it is to be raised here in Taiwan, sort of as like a mixed, Taiwanese American girl.
Being mixed, some people have misconceptions about being mixed. And when I was growing up, actually still now, sometimes strangers, they come up to me and they speak English and they assume that I just don't understand Chinese. And then I reply, 我会讲中文. So then they start speaking Chinese to me, but they're kind of shocked. I'd say there's a lot of assumptions in growing up as a mixed kid.
Especially when we go grocery shopping with mom, they're always just so stunned when we say a word of Chinese. And I remember being in school and math, I didn't do well on a quiz one time. And I remember my teacher calling me out in front of the whole class, and she was like, "Did you not understand Chinese? That's why you didn't do well." And that was crazy to me. I think I'm very proud of being bilingual. I think it's one of the greatest gifts I have. And I love both languages, so it's kind of hard when people don't understand that, I guess, when you're trying to present it to them. And like Yana said, assumptions and also just kind of being different, because Taiwan in general is still pretty homogenous. It's pretty rare, I think, to see mixed people and foreign people.
Okay.
So people are really curious.
It's actually getting more common though.
Yeah.
I see a lot more.
Yeah, but we did go to private local schools.
Okay.
But it was still very, very dominantly Taiwanese. So it was still really rare being mixed. In my high school before I left, there were 3,000 people, and there were about 2 or 3 mixed kids probably. So definitely very rare.
I've also heard different things like there's bullying sometimes and stuff like that. Did you guys have anything like that? Or
I think some of my classmates, they assumed that I was really good at English.
Okay.
There was this one time, there's this girl, she has really good grades, and my test scores weren't as high as hers in English, and people were kind of shocked, and I felt bad, but so they just assumed that I was really good with English. I do like English class. Being mixed doesn't necessarily mean that I'm really good at this subject because I'm from there.
I was really involved in debate and speech and stuff like that. I love to talk. And my highest achievement, I think, was going into the national round for a public speech competition.
Okay.
And I actually ended up winning that, and I was really proud of it. And I was telling people about it, and automatically they assumed it was English, but it was actually Chinese. Chinese speech and Chinese writing is something I've always been really interested in, but people are just kind of shocked when I tell them that because they don't assume it, or they think I'm in some special, foreigner category, not what other Taiwanese people, but that's not true. I guess when you tell them you're American, they kind of assume you're from Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. Our dad's from Iowa, so they're pretty surprised when they hear.
So what do you guys think are some kind of pros for, being, dad's American, mom's Taiwanese?
I love the food.
Food for sure. Okay.
I mean, I think I'm so blessed to grow up here, to have the amazing cuisine that we have here. And now that I live in the U.S., I appreciate that even more. It's first thing. I got home, night market, street food, just everything. It's really fun. And language is also another big thing because I'm learning my first foreign language now. I'm learning Arabic. It's really difficult.
Okay.
But English and Mandarin, those were, our parents raised us, so those were we grew up speaking it. Yeah. They're both our native languages. So I think we're really lucky in that way. So it'd be so hard to learn another language from scratch.
Yeah. I'm glad I grew up bilingual because most of my classmates, they're Taiwanese. Yeah. So they don't learn English until they're maybe in elementary or something. So growing up speaking both languages, it was easier for me.
There's kind of a crazy, I think, amount of pressure on the kids for school here. Yeah, so what do you guys think of that?
Wow, it's one of the reasons I left.
Okay.
School pressure.
School pressure, growing up in a local school and stuff like that. Yeah.
I was in a private school, so I've never really been in a public school, so I can't compare that.
Okay.
But my elementary was fine.
Okay.
The school academics wasn't that hard on me, I think. Okay. But after I went to Huishan, now I'm there. It's an IB school, and it is tiring. It is so tiring because right now I'm on my last week of semester 1. Okay. And I just finished my last finals, and tomorrow and tonight I have to hand in another theater homework and read a lot of books. So I think the pressure is really high on us.
Yeah,
Okay.
we went to the same elementary school. Then I moved on to Wagood. Wagood's a very big private school.
Yeah, I know that.
And I was in the international education department, which is like the special program part of it. But we had to learn the Taiwanese curriculum in addition to the American one, so that was tough. But I think the worst part was just how long the school day was. Like I would shock my American friends every time I told them about it. So school day would begin about 7:30. And then 3 days a week, we'd have to stay late until 9 p.m. actually.
9 p.m.
9.
Ooh.
Yeah, we called it 晚自习. So
Okay.
you get the normal day, 8 classes, and then it ends around 5:40, and then everyone has dinner, and then mandatory nap time after dinner.
What?
Wake up from mandatory nap
At
time.
school?
At school. We had 2 mandatory nap times
Ooh.
after lunch and after dinner. And if you open your eyes, your name would be on the board. It was a major violation. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
And so
wow.
after nap time, a few more hours of intense studying where it just had to be silent. You do your work, the teacher's patrolling the classroom, and then 9 p.m. and that's when you get to go home. So I remember stepping out and it'd be dark and I'd just be like, where did my day go? Because it was just all gone. That was around the time I decided I wanted something new, which is why I ended up leaving. It was a very stressful experience.
I'm
there was a
sure.
lot of pressure. Rankings were a very big thing. They are here in Taiwan. If there
yeah.
are 600 people in your year, you will know number 1 to number 600th on every exam.
My school doesn't
Yeah.
have that though. Like we don't have
A
ranking.
little bit about the U.S. and university and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm studying international affairs. So DC is a very good place for it. It's where all the power is, where
Wow.
the government, where everything is really. So being there is really exciting.
Okay.
My dorm is 10 minutes away from the White House, so we see
Really?
like protests go in front of our dorm all the time. It's especially what's happening in the U.S. now. It's a very tense city as well.
Okay.
But there's a lot to learn from it, so that's pretty fun. Love the classes, but I will say I miss the food here a lot.
Okay.
I miss the night market culture. I miss just people walking on the streets at night. DC is a surprisingly quiet place at night. It's a little
Really?
bit creepy sometimes.
Okay.
But just, yeah, I feel like Asia has this type of vibrance that you just can't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I miss the culture and the character here. It's very different from a big city in the U.S. I miss Taiwan safety a lot. Our school, the first month I got there, actually, our school issued, we have a thing called, it's like a school-wide alert. They send it to every single student when something happens, which surprisingly is a lot. But one time, we all got this alert, and they told us to stay in because this criminal has escaped from our university hospital. And it turned out to be a murder suspect on the loose. And he was just roaming around on campus, in the city, everywhere. There were helicopters flying. They got the police involved, blocked off streets. We all stayed inside. And this went on for hours and hours. And they never caught him. So it's he escaped somehow.
Man.
But it was pretty crazy because in Taiwan, you could never imagine a murder suspect being on the loose, running around the city, and students like hiding in their dorms. It was just such a surreal experience. Coming from Taiwan, it was just, I felt like I would only see that in movies. My dad and I were just saying we can get, go to 7-Eleven, you can get a good meal there,
Yeah, for
convenience stores. And then you go to the U.S., especially in D.C.,
Yeah.
you can't get a single meal outside for less than $15, $20, $25. That's the minimum. And then taxes and then tips. So it ends up
Yeah.
being a lot. And Taiwan is just so much more affordable. I'm still getting used to a lot of it. I
Yeah.
think being like American, going back in the summers, having that nationality,
Yeah.
it's still such a big culture shock.
Obviously in Taiwan and in Asia, really, karaoke's massive, right? So, I mean, I'm guessing you guys must like it, or
So my birthday is like very soon. It's February 4th.
16th birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm planning on going with my friends to KTV.
Okay.
Because I went one time, actually.
Okay.
With my other friend for her birthday, and that was so fun. Like
Oh,
the
really?
lights, and I played Taylor Swift. But
Yeah.
the atmosphere was just amazing. So
Yeah.
I want to do it again.
Nice. Right,
Yeah,
yourself.
I also went with my middle school friends quite a bit,
Okay.
but also just like when we're driving on road trips in the car, it's always karaoke time for us,
Sure.
I think. So yeah, we're always blasting music, always singing along to it.
Okay.
And I love the karaoke culture here. I think it's something
Yeah.
that really every single age group can enjoy. It's
Yeah.
not restricted to anyone, and you can go any time of the day, any mood you're in.
But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for coming so much. Thank you for sharing your
you.
story. Thank you for sharing the music. Thank you guys for watching.